Okay, today we're going to look at surface area, which is chapter 10, lesson 9. We are going to be looking at the surface area of 3D figures. We did volume in our last lesson where we did how much you can fill inside of the 3D figure. Surface area is basically calculating all of those faces of each of the pieces of that 3D figure and adding it up to see what that surface area is, the surface of the shape, the surface of the polyhedron, adding those all up. The net is basically just unfolding that 3D shape into a flat 2D picture and looking at the area of each piece and then adding them together. For example, we have a rectangular prism here. Over here is the same rectangular prism, except we have cut it and unfolded it and laid it out flat. You'll notice that we have it sectioned off into pieces. We have A is here, B is this rectangle, C is this rectangle, D, E, and F. So we have all these different rectangles that we're going to find the area of each piece, just like when we did area of composite figures, we had to break it down into smaller pieces. You're going to find area of all of these and then add up the areas to find the total. So for this one, for A, we're doing 2 times 5, which equals 10. So 2 times 5 is 10. For B over there, we're doing 12 times 5 is 60. For C, which is right here, we're doing our 12 times 2 is 24. If you remember rectangles, your formula is length times width or base times height. So that's what we're doing for all of these rectangles. For D, 5 times 12 is 60. For E, 2 times 12 is 24. And for F, 2 times 5 is 10. Now that I have all of these areas for each piece of this rectangular prism, I add them all together and get 188 inches squared. I have inches squared because we're talking about surface area. We're not talking about volume. That's what fills up the whole inside of that prism. Let's look at another example. We have a prism that gives us our dimension of a 9 by 5 by 7. Okay, so I know my front is going to be 9 times 7, which is 63. The top is going to be, this is going to be 5 because this is 5, so 5 times 9 is 45. The side over here is going to be a 5 times 7 is 35. Now, I'm doing, the front is 63. I'm going to do 63 times 2 because the front and the back are going to be the same thing. I mean, you could break it up and do a front and a back, but it's going to be the same as the front. So you can do that times 2 to include the front and the back. That's the front and the back together. 45 times 2 would be the top and the bottom piece that it's sitting on are going to be the same size, so you can do that times 2 to get 90. 35 is that side section. The other side is going to be identical, so you can do 35 times 2 to get 70, and then add them all up, and you get 286 centimeters squared would be the total surface area of this whole, if you add all the faces together. Okay, let's look at this one. We have our 3D figure here. It's flattened out into its net here. If you break it up into A, B, C, D, E, and F, you can find the area of each piece again. So we have A is 6 times 3 up here. 6 times 3 is 18. For B, we have 6 times 11 right here. And then C is a 3 by 11, 33. We have B so far. D is 11 by 6, 66. E is a 3 times 11, 33. And then F is 3 by 6, which is 18. Add them all together, and you get 234 inches squared. Okay, same thing with a pyramid. The only difference here is you have a one bottom, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles that are identical that all come up to this top point right there. So on this one, you can do the area of the square plus 4 times the area of the triangular face. So you're going to find this, and then find the triangle times 4, because there's 4 of them and they're all the same size. Then you can add this times 4 plus this to get your total. So we have, for the base, let's see, clear that out so I can see my numbers. The base is going to be 7 by 7. So 7 times 7 is 49. So 49 would be that. And then our triangle, remember, is base times height divided by 2. So 7 times 8 is 56. 56 divided by 2 is 28. Okay? So I have an area of 28 and area 49. So I have my 49, which is the base, plus 4 times 28, because I have 4 triangles times that 28. That gives you 112. 49 plus 112 is 161. So the area is 161 feet squared. Okay, we will be doing several of these in class, and we'll also be doing a lab where we're working with the nets and then putting them back together as the actual 3D figures.